Citra and Nabila. My student number is 87. In this video, I will explain about the function of oral language. The purpose of language is to communicate needs, wants, ideas, information, and feelings. Like writing, speaking also has a variety of genres. The genres are related to the purpose of the thought. The purpose or function of language has been categorized in a variety of ways. The best known function is Halliday's communication function. There are 7 functions. The first is instrumental, and then personal, and then interactional, and then laboratory, representational, heuristic, and imaginative. The first is instrumental. For example, I want. Language as a means of getting things and satisfying material needs. This function helps us to identify things, seek and provide information, and then request assistance. And then personal. For example, here I come. Here I come is expressing individuality, awareness of self, and pride. This function helps us to express and respond to an ideas or opinion, express for agreement and disagreement, express approval or disapproval for a service provided. And then interactional. For example, me and you. Me and you means getting along with others and establishing relative status. This function helps us to greet or welcome people, introduce or meet people, take a leave of somebody, attract attention, and then congratulations. And then regulatory. For example, do as I tell you, controlling the behavior and feeling of others. This function helps us to give information or correct factual information, persuade others, give specific instruction in variety of contexts for different audience. And then representational. For example, I've got something to tell you. Means communicating information, description, and express a proposition. This function helps us to tell about the real world, convey message, and express a proposition. Next, heuristic. For example, tell me why. Seek and testing for knowledge. This function helps us to use a range of questions, respond to the question appropriately, and express and find out intellectual ideas. And then the last, imaginative. For example, let's pretend. Creating new world, making up story, and poem. This function helps us to perform, recite, and puppetry. It is important when tackling the function of language to give consideration to 1. The range of different social contexts of language. Informal or formal, familiar or unfamiliar. 2. The range of cultural contexts of language, local, community, or institutional. 3. The possible participant in a conversation, people who are known or unknown, student, peers, or adult. It is also important to make a distinction between thought as a performance and thought as a process. The first is thought as a process. For example, collaborative problem solving, joint text construction, classroom discussion, individual writing conference, brainstorming and listing, give direction and instruction, construction activities, board games, and writer or reader circle. Thought as a process refers to the use of thought for learning, cooperating with each other, and forming social relationships. And the second is talk as a performance. For example, morning news, sport report, debating, telling a jokes or anecdote, dramatic presentation, retelling, storytelling, delivery oral message, and thanking in a guest speaker. Talk as a performance refers to more formal activities, like when students speak to an audience. Students need to develop the linguistic resources to engage with variety of situation or register. Register refer to the different formal, informal, social, and educational situation that students will encounter. In any situation, the purpose of interaction has a major influence on the language use. A competent speaker and listeners vary their choice of language according to, first, the role that spoken language playing in the interaction. And then the second, the topic being talked about. Third, the role and relationship between speakers. And the last, the relationship between speakers and audience. Register has three components: fill, tenor, and mood. The first is fill. Fill refers to who or what is being talked about. For example, at school, students are expected to participate in spoken language activities that centered on various curriculum topics, on social relationship, and on learning itself. The second is tenor. Tenor is the relationship between speaker and listener. For example, at school, students have to learn to be a member of a large group and to work collaboratively with others. The last, mode. Mode is types of text being produced. For example, at school, students engage in spoken language activities that range from familiar embedded activities